And these are kind of the two big topics you need to get from this unit, because they're going to be used in Algebra 2, Pre-Calc, Calc, whatever math classes you take. They're the two big topics that are in all of them. And I've had plenty of students over the years that I've had in Algebra 1 as a ninth grader and had as a senior in Calc. So, I mean, like, I know some of you might be absolutely throwing out the idea, like, why you care about this one. Some of you may quit math after Algebra 2, and that's totally your prerogative, right? Like, you have a choice. You can choose what to do. Algebra 2 is the last required class for graduation. But depending on what field you want to go into, like, the older you get, when you start deciding what you want to do, you might find out that they require math for your major. And even if math isn't like the main topic of your major, they might require it anyway. The most common one that does is business. So most business majors require you to get through Calc 1. And so you learning all this stuff now is kind of important. Like, if you want to run your own business, even if you just want to major something with business, it's a good degree for a lot of people because it applies to basically almost anywhere you want to work. So these topics are kind of important going forward. I'm not even trying to talk about how they apply in real life. I just want you to be able to take any kind of degree you want to be able to take. So quadratic formula. Yeah, my voice is dying today. Cam, we'll go with you. You need some focusing. What's the worst part about factoring?
It's hard.
Okay, that is true. That's not very much for detail. Like, if you could describe to somebody why factoring is hard.
Because there's a lot of numbers involved.
It's not the fact that there's a lot of numbers, because numbers aren't a big deal. I mean, I think you mean it correct. You're just basically saying there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways of factoring. Like I wrote it down yesterday. There's 5 main ways of factoring. And that's just the ones you've learned so far. So factoring itself, some people absolutely hate it because there's so many choices. Some people are really good at factoring, it just makes sense to them. So quadratic formula is absolutely going to be the method that a majority of you will prefer because it can solve any quadratic equation. I don't even know where this is in your packet. I'm just going to write notes up here. I was just going to say, like, if you guys want, today you can just watch. Like, you don't need to write any of this down. I am recording it, so if it's something you want to look at before a test or something, you'll be able to watch it. Cameron, why don't you pick somebody for me?
You pick. I feel bad.
I'm literally writing.
You got it.
Oh, you picked Serena?
Yeah.
Boy, you really went out of the box there. Okay, Serena. I bet you a lot of people in here need help remembering what that is. We've been doing it for like 2 or 3 weeks now. What is a quadratic equation? Oh boy. Does anybody remember? No, not that thought though. Oh, okay. Maybe I should have done this a lot earlier. What the heck? Change colors on me. Any equation that has a variable squared. Serena, let's go with you on this question then. Do you remember what linear meant? It's the word.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Say what it is.
You can say what it is? What?
No, I don't know how to say what it is.
Can anybody help me on that one? Linear? You guys have to know words. You speak words every day. In fact, I've seen you guys make up plenty of words. Like when you're texting, you just like make up random letters and it stands for words. So you guys are good with words. And nobody here can tell me what linear means. These are normal words. These are words you're supposed to know. Even a guess?
Is it a line?
It's a line. Linear is anything that makes a line. I heard somebody else say it too, but I couldn't tell where. Linear is anything that makes a line. Quadratic is any type of equation with a square. So if you have an equation written out and it has x squared, this formula will work for that. Okay? I'm going to write out the whole formula. You don't have to write it out or anything yet. I'm just going to tell you. Downside. It's a big formula. What are you doing?
I have a test, okay, so kind of focus
We
on
all have tests.
Yeah.
It's a huge formula. And that's a downside. I was literally just praising you guys for being the only class I didn't have to make a seating chart for. Because you were the only class that was very good about knowing when to switch between learning mode and working mode. The formula is horrible, it's hard to remember, but a lot of students love it because it will find the answers for any equation. Even if the equation is ridiculously hard to factor, you'll be able to find the answers. Some equations you can't factor, this will still find the answer. In Algebra 2, you're going to start learning about imaginary numbers, which are numbers that aren't real. This will still find answers for those. Like if you become an electrical engineer, you actually have to learn about imaginary numbers because the way electricity moves uses imaginary numbers. And it's definitely weird. This is all I want to focus on today. We're going to take a handful of days before we start using this. So we are only looking at that part today. Serena, have you picked anybody yet?
No.
All right, you want to pick somebody for me?
Kenzie.
What'd you pick?
Kenzie.
You guys go so far. Okay, Kenzie. Give me an equation. Make up one for me.
Like that equation?
Numbers.
7
7x squared. Okay.
plus
Plus
2
2x minus
minus 5.
5. Excellent. Good equation. All we are doing today is trying to figure out what numbers in the equation would be considered A, B, and C. That's all we're going to try to do today. It seems dumb, but being able to figure out which number stands for what will allow you to solve a lot of different equations. Okay, good. You want to go to the next person? Yours was pretty easy.
I don't care.
Just give me a number then.
23.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You already knew that, didn't you? Kira, do you think you can help me figure out which number is A?
7.
Okay, how did you know that? I mean, that's good logic. I can't argue with that. Okay, A is always going to be the number on the x squared. So 7 is the number on the x squared. So A is 7. Do you want to keep going? Do you want other people to bail you out? Okay. Should I even ask, or should I just pick one? Okay. The question is obvious. I can say it if you want me to. Close. So A, B, and C are only going to be numbers. But you're correct that that's the right one to look at. So just 2. Yeah, A, B, and C will only be numbers. They won't have letters on. Casey, I might as well just go right to you for C. Close. So it's going to be -5. Really, the only difficult part about these is just deciding positives and negatives. If there's a minus sign, it's going to go with it. So that's A, B, C. Are we okay with that? Yes? Okay, good. You want to call on somebody for me? Becky, you get chosen like every day. You weren't even listening to any of that?
Yeah, it was.
Then why'd you take your report out? So then you weren't listening. You make me feel old when I say things like this, but like, I feel like it would be obvious not to listen to music while you're trying to learn something. I need some numbers from you. I need you to make me up an equation.
5, 26,
Ooh.
3,
Okay, there's too many numbers. You're right. I didn't tell you how many numbers.
4.
Oh, okay. Can you identify A, B, and C for me?
5x is
Oh, what the heck? I forgot. Did I not write this word, or did we just not write it? So the A, B, and C will only be numbers. So 5.
5, 26,
-26.
26, and then 4 is 6.
Perfect. Okay, good. Should I just call on Grayson, or? Okay. I'll make this one up. You're smart. Don't complain. You're smart. Should I just go take a nap while I wait? Oh, okay. Okay, so A is always the number on the x squared. That's absolutely correct. B is always the number on the x. So this one doesn't have that. So then the number would be nothing, correct. If the number's not there, you put a 0. And then C, excellent. See, you're the first person that got the negative. And you were complaining yours was different. It was. I did that on purpose. They gave you guys all easy ones. It was never tough. Okay, 2 more, and then we are moving on to different topics. Well, moving on to more, say. Who's going to help me now? I don't need it. Cool. Bella? Sure. It looked like you were asking her permission to, I call on her. Or were we asking for assistance?
She gave me a recommendation to call.
Oh, then that definitely means I should call on Bella. Okay, Bella. A is always the number on the x squared. Okay? Close. It's -1. So if no number is shown, that means it's a 1. But this one had a negative sign, so that means it's -1. So good. That was absolutely the hardest part about this one. Okay, how about B? It is the number on the x. Correct. If it's not there, it's a 0. Good. Let's pause here. Write very small because you're going to do more stuff. We are only going to go through to start with right now and figure out A, B, and C. So on the left-hand side of every one of these, figure out what A, B, and C is. You look like you're trying to have Oh, what time is it? I guess so, I guess. It wasn't in the computer yet, but I don't know. Yeah, just can I go to the bathroom? It's very awkward for me to handle that one. Hopefully you didn't start number 1 yet. Everybody's like flying through, right? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Go to number 5, or no, 4, that's the first one. If you look at question number 4, it's written down as 2a squared minus a minus 13 equals 2. Oh, shoot, oh, I just left. Avery. She was either going to call one of you two anyway, so I'll just do it for her. This one's off a little bit because it's not equal to 0. Wait, who was our expert yesterday on that? I don't think so. Did I not have an expert? That's right, it was Abby. It was just my memory. He didn't point to me. Abby, every one of these equations has to say what? Equal to 0. How do we make it equal to 0, Avery? Yes. Add not being a great word, but yes. I knew what you meant. So since there is another regular number, I can put it with that. So this would be 2a squared minus a minus 15. And then this is the equation you figure out a, b, and c from. So you can't do the a, b, and c until it's equal to 0. It looks like question 1, 2, and 3 are equal to 0. So if you got a little bit into the worksheet, you're fine. Okay, we have 15 minutes. I'm assuming that should easily be enough time for you to figure out A, B, and C on these problems, but who knows, I might be wrong. Get that done today, so that tomorrow we can use this worksheet to actually try to find answers. Make sense? Excellent.